Hey everybody, it is Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and I'm coming to you from my hot garage once again. Talk to you guys about a couple things, and to try something out on camera that may or may not be good. Let's talk about what happened on the Texas Gun Vault today. I filmed another range report on a product review that some of you guys are probably going to hate. I did another through night light. I have to say that I like these through night flashlights. I know that my EDC gear review stuff doesn't get a ton of views as compared to my firearm stuff, which I would expect. However, some of these things are really nice, and I did the Archer Pro V2 in orange, and this might be my new EDC light. So that's what I made today, because it's kind of a quick video to make. I have the Browning high-power Syrian contract script and range footage all edited. I'm supposed to kind of work on that one tomorrow, so if you're a Patreon, you'll see that early, and hopefully tomorrow evening, if not Wednesday. And then good news is I'm seeing my good friend D, hopefully tomorrow night, and I'm returning the guns that I have reviewed, and he always has some amazing stuff for me to try out. So as soon as I get that, I'll give you guys a upcoming projects video. The main thing I wanted to talk about tonight is, I guess, intolerance and the bifurcation of society, not just from a political standpoint, but also in the gun world. And I made a video this last weekend regarding the CRS firearms case in Matt Hoover, and it was a Texas Gun Vault poll question of the week. And I knew that my stance on things might make some people upset, and that's okay. I'm not here to have everybody agree with me or to be gung-ho about one thing or another. And I knew people would disagree with me, and I did have some wonderful people in the comment section that did disagree with me that we had some good discussions about. I think I laid out my case, and I can definitely see the other side of things. I can definitely see why people are upset or think a certain way. But I gave my opinions. Hopefully you guys saw that video, and I kind of lean towards, well, he is kind of the architect of where he's at right now. To give you guys a little bit of a synopsis of my point, I kind of said, he is guilty. Not that what he did necessarily was illegal, but he put himself where he is. When he got the letter from the ATF where it was a cease and desist letter from the ATF, he should have ceased and desisted and then gone and gotten an attorney and said, what should I do? And I can guarantee you that attorney would have said, you need to cease and desist. And then now that you've gotten that letter, we can fight this in court because now you have legal standing and we can sue. And since you have followed the cease and desist letter, you can do it from outside of jail. And possibly a judge would grant an injunction against the ATF, which would allow you to continue to advertise or sell those auto key cards. And then we can fight it in court. I mean, he could have done it the smart way, but he chose to do what he did and to continue to be a thorn in their side. And I know a lot of people like, oh, he was just selling a piece of art or a piece of metal or a 0% part. But he did it in a stupid way. And he could have done it a different way, still fought for his First and Second Amendment rights, but done it in a way that he would have had, number one, legal standing and done it from outside of prison. That was where I came down. Now, when I released the video, there were quite a few people, and I was saying by quite a few, I mean, it was more than I was expecting. I can see who, during the course of watching a video, either subscribes or unsubscribes. I get these like raw numbers, and I noticed that I had about 10 people unsubscribe to the Texas Gun Vault 2 on that video. And it was very obvious it's because they were upset with me. And that's fine. Nobody has to watch my content or agree with me or any of that. I try to open lines of communication and dialogue, and I watch people that I disagree with. I sometimes find that I'll learn something about a case or something that the video is talking about that I didn't know before, and I try to keep my mind open. It doesn't mean they're going to convince me, and it doesn't mean I have to hate them or unsubscribe to their channel or say anything nasty to them. I can disagree with people that I don't like, or say I can disagree with people and with people that I can still like. Now, for example, in my personal life, in my professional life, I'm a musician. Let me tell you, there are a ton of liberals and anti-gun people. I just know not to talk to them about politics and guns. And I am still friends with them. I can talk about food, where the best restaurants are, about dogs and cats, and whatever it is, music in general, or, just kind of chit-chat about what the family's doing, where they're going on vacation. And they're still good people. That just because I disagree with them, and sometimes on a lot of things, like whether it be First Amendment, Second Amendment, the role of Congress, government, the executive branch, politics, I can be completely on the opposite side of the aisle than them, and I don't hate them as a person. You know what I'm saying? I can still have dialogue and conversations with them. But I've noticed this, and there's some hypocrisy in the gun world. So, you guys, I guess an example I was kind of thinking about before I filmed this was Antifa and the defund the police crowd. I know there's a lot of people that watch my content that are either in law enforcement or support law enforcement. They have the Blue Lives Matter flag maybe on their car, they hang it at their house or what have you. Very, very very pro law enforcement and very pro Second Amendment. And of course, when I talk politics with these people, they will obviously have a opinion of the defund the police and the Antifa people and go, they're just wrong, and the only reason that they hate the police is because of one person that did something bad or a couple of people that did something bad. And because the police are their perceived enemies, whatever the police do, even if it's like rescue a kid from a burning building or rescue a kitty cat from a tree, the police are evil because the police are their enemies and they're bad guys. So it doesn't matter if what they do is virtuous and good. The defund the police Antifa people still hate them and everything they do, and somehow will try to spin them saving a kid in, some bad situation as evil whatever. Same thing goes with many people on the left when it comes to Donald Trump. You guys see it all the time. It doesn't matter that the economy was fantastic, the stock market was way up, and life was pretty good. They can't give Donald Trump any credit whatsoever. The fact that the stock market was great will be spun as, oh my gosh, it was bad. It was showing a flaw in the economy. And whatever it is, everything that goes wrong, they stub their toe that morning. Somehow it's Donald Trump's fault. And you guys probably rightfully go, yeah, that's pretty crazy. And it's sad that just because somebody is on the political other side of the spectrum, and they're the perceived enemy, that everything, and I mean everything they do, is evil, wrong, or has some type of malice. Well, we're all hypocrites to some standpoint, but I'm noticing this in the gun world more and more. So, for example, if somebody like myself has a differing opinion, now all of a sudden, because trust me, as soon as I released that video and people didn't like my opinion, now every video I make, they have to dislike. Oh my God, if you like that gun, I can't like that gun because you have a different opinion on CRS firearms than I do. You're the enemy now. So everything you say and do must be wrong. And I also notice this when it comes to the ATF. Now, I am not in any way an ATF apologist, okay? They've done some bad things. But you got to admit, too, that occasionally a blind squirrel finds a nut from time to time, right? You've heard that saying. So, for example, I politically disagree with the likes of Chuck Schumer or AOC a lot, and Joe Biden a lot, okay? However, sometimes they're going to support something that I go, I disagree with them 99.9% of the time. However, on this one thing, I kind of agree with them, and I'm going to give them credit. They might, I don't know, so maybe it's like a financial bill. They're like, well, maybe we should investigate, these banks that are lending money to people that shouldn't have money lent to them or whatever. I'm just kind of pulling that out of my, or like out of the air. And I'll go, you know what? Yeah. Or they want to investigate inside trading. Okay, we disagree on the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, probably the Fourth and Fifth Amendment, the 10th Amendment. We just agree on political philosophy and the role of government. However, on this one issue, you and I can find common ground. But there's people that just because they either support it, now they're like, oh my God, the person that I hate, the person that's my political enemy, has done this, I have to be against it. And that's no way to live. But let me get back to the ATF. So, for example, when it comes to the CRS firearms case, I totally get that a lot of things the ATF does, especially lately, is pretty bad. Pretty bad. I mean, we can all agree that definitely the CRS case was, an overreach, depending on how far you think that is. I mean, it's not like he was actually physically selling machine guns, or they've gone after this Navy enlisted person that had an inert grenade launcher that wasn't registered, but even though it was an inert thing, it was like essentially a toy, and they went after him. And they, of course, you go back to the 90s and the Waco thing and whatever, Ruby Ridge, you guys know all the big stories. However, occasionally, the ATF will intercept a bunch of illegal machine guns that have come in from China that were destined to be used by gangs, or the little Glock switches that they take off the street because they found some drug trafficker had a whole bunch of them, and they arrest them. Occasionally they actually do decent things. They actually do that type of work. And I kind of feel like just because the ATF does something, that whatever it is that they do must be evil, nefarious, and whatever the case is, you must be 100% in opposition. And the CRS firearms case, I think, is a good example of where the gun community looks crazy. In that, as I mentioned before, Matt Hoover had a chance to do it differently. They gave him a cease and desist letter. Now, as I said, I don't think the actual thing he did was illegal, okay? But we live in a world with a system of laws, regulations. You don't have to agree with them, but things work a certain way. And as the saying goes, you catch more flies with honey than you do vinegar. He chose to go the vinegar route, okay? And he got burned. He got burned bad. As I mentioned, he had other options. He could have gone to a lawyer. And I guarantee you, any lawyer worth their salt would have said, hey, you need to stop doing this. But let's file a lawsuit in a federal court. Now that you have this letter, we're going to file a case on your behalf defending your First and Second Amendment rights. And then he could have fought it differently and gotten all the support of all of his followers and had a GoFundMe for, we're going to fight the ATF, we're going to fight this in court. And he could have done it from outside a prison cell. But people will defend him saying the things he did. I mean, I think that we all would agree that, okay, people are saying that he was just advertising for them. Okay, he was just advertising for them. But wouldn't you agree that advertising falsely is considered illegal? I mean, what if a car dealership in your area says, we're going to sell cars at this price, and these cars do this, and they have low miles, and you get there, and it's a used car, and it has 250,000 miles, and the price is 3 times what they said, and you go, this is wrong. There's laws against that. You can't advertise something. Or all of our cars run, and you get there, and they're all on cinder blocks, and the engines are out. Well, that's illegal. It's false advertising. And if you guys are saying, oh my gosh, he was just advertising these things and they didn't really work, he was still doing something wrong. He was taking money from people of the gun owners like you, because he was promising you could buy this piece of art, this piece of metal, and it was this drop-in auto sear that you could eventually one day cut out in an end-of-the-world situation. And then you guys all admit, yeah, they were just pieces of art. You couldn't actually turn them into one. Well, then why didn't he say that? Why didn't he just say, this is an advertisement for a piece of art? You can't turn this into this, but it's what it would be if you could. Then you would go, okay. You guys defend him like he is 100% innocent in all of this because the ATF went after him. So everything he did, he is Mother Teresa of the firearms world. And I hate to tell you, he's not. He went about it the wrong way. So I guess I'm kind of talking long-winded here about we have to stop looking at people as our enemy and then assuming that just because they're opposed to us on one or two, or we disagree with them on one issue, that they're the enemy, and whatever they say from now on until the end of eternity must be wrong and you must oppose them 100%. It's not a good way to live. And I think you close yourself off to relevant, factual, and truthful information. As I said, the ATF definitely overreached. The DOJ should not have indicted him for what they did. But a jury of his peers, regardless of those people that said, oh, the jury instructions were all messed up, you need to go look at it. It doesn't matter. A jury of his peers still convicted him. He put himself in that situation. But because he was put in that situation by the DOJ and the ATF, and you guys hate the ATF, I'm no fan of them. I hate the NFA wait times. I definitely think it was an overreach. But all of a sudden, Matt Hoover is some type of Mother Teresa figure that should be canonized. And I don't get it. You guys have to realize that a lot of the world is in the gray. You know, we live our lives and always assume that the way that we see things, the way that we think about things, is 100% virtuous and right. You know, we are all the hero of our own story. But we look at our enemies as being the pure embodiment of evil and malice, when in actuality, the truth lies in between. You know, I've made mistakes in my life. I've said things I shouldn't say to people. I've hurt people. I know that. I've made decisions that I wish I didn't make, things I wish I could have back. Some are big, some are small. I'm not perfect. I'm not the great hero of the world. You know, I like to think I'm the hero of my own story, but maybe I'm not. Neither are you. But I like to still think in general, aggregating all of my life, I'm still a good person. I still think I'm on the right side of things. I get things wrong. You know, people that you hate or politically disagree with, they're probably good people too. They probably love their family, love their pets. They like good food. They probably in general don't want to hurt anybody. But because you hate them and your minds are clouded with emotions, you make poor decisions and say things that are wrong and close your mind off to what could be factual and truthful. As I said, I think the truth of the Matt Hoover CRS case lies somewhere in between. The ATF overstepped, overreached. I don't think anybody disagrees with that. But the people that defend Matt Hoover as I said, some type of angelic Mother Teresa figure are also way off base. The truth is in the middle. The ATF was bad, but Matt Hoover made the choices to put him where he is today. He could have ceased and desisted and gotten legal representation and then started making videos on his channel. Hey, everybody, I got this letter. Join me in the fight. We're putting a lawsuit against the ATF, trying to defend the Second Amendment, that this is just a piece of art. It's my First Amendment right. It's whatever. People would have joined in, supported him. He would still be with his family. He wouldn't be behind bars. And he could still be a hero of the Second Amendment community in the eyes of many. He chose not to. So that's what I wanted to say. So for those people that left the channel going, oh my God, I'm never going to watch you again because I disagree with you on this one thing, that's fine. You don't have to like me. I know I'm not the greatest personality in the world. Far from it. Far from that. However, I hope that you guys would stay and we have a dialogue. Because if you disagree with me, whether it is on this or the ATF pistol brace rule or a gun that I review that I hate and you love, or a gun that I love and you hate, I just want to have a conversation with you. You know, there's certain guns that I don't like, Kel-Tecs, that man, oh man, do I got some people that subscribe to me on my main channel that love them some Kel-Tecs. And I think that's awesome. They're awesome. Those people are good people. You want to know why? Because they love guns and the Second Amendment. I can joke about Kel-Tecs all day long and then falling apart. But you know what? If buying and shooting Kel-Tecs makes them happy, I'm glad it makes them happy. I really am. I'm not going to buy a Kel-Tec. I still say, and I agree with the Yankee Marshal when he says, Kel-Tecs don't need a break-in period. They just break. Period. And it's true. I've had Kel-Tecs break on me multiple times at the range. But it's cool if your Kel-Tec works great and you love it. That's awesome. I want you to have all the Kel-Tecs in the world you want. I want you to, every time you open your safe and look at that thing, it brings a smile to your face. It's your money. It's your gun. It's your firearm. And as long as you are owning it and shooting it responsibly, I'm happy. We don't have to agree. But because people disagree with my opinions, I guess it hurts their feelings and they have to go. Don't be that way. Don't be that way. I really do try to foster an environment of having dialogue here on the Texas Gun Vault. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say about that. What do you guys think? But before I let you go, I want to try something here with you guys. And yeah, it's hot out here. So, just so you know, I have no guns out here because we're going to try some alcohol. We're going to try some. Because my wife was at the store today. I know, this is a Blue Moon glass. No, I'm not going to have Blue Moon. She was at the store today and saw something that she thought she would like and thought I would like. Now, I'm aware of this beer company because I think they're based here in Texas. They might even be based in Fort Worth. No, Granbury, Texas, it says on the can. It's called Revolver. Now, you would think a beer named Revolver, I would be a big fan of. But I've tried some of their other beers, and I don't know, they're just not for me. I typically like, and you guys might laugh, the lighter lagers, pilsners, and I like Hefeweizens, unfiltered wheat beers and things like that. That's what I like. I'm not a big fan of the big heavy stouts and IPAs. I don't like bitter stuff. Well, my wife saw this, and it says it's from a company called Revolver, but it's called, what was it? Don't Go Bacon My Heart. Bacon beer. Yeah, my wife, if you don't know, loves bacon. In fact, on her Facebook profile, she talks about how she's a bacon lover, and people, all of her friends, family, and all of her acquaintances, send her bacon memes all the time, or bacon recipes. So she saw this and was like, we got to try that. So this thing's been sitting in the refrigerator for a while, down here below my workbench. Got a glass, and we're going to try this together, and we're going to see if Don't Go Bacon My Heart by Revolver Brewing is any good. So let's find out. It's definitely a darker beer. All right. Look at that. Pretty dark. The head is a little bit darker as well. Let's see if it smells like bacon. Not really. Maybe a little bit. It kind of smells like, I guess, like their typical Revolver. It kind of smells, how to describe it? I guess it's like there was blood and honey or whatever they call it. I don't really smell any bacon on it. All right, well, let's see if this thing tastes like bacon at all. Here we go. No. I mean, maybe. There's like a hint of an aftertaste of bacon grease. Yeah, it is just a hint of it at the end. It's actually pretty darn good. Normally I don't like stuff that dark. I could drink this. But if you're expecting it to be very bacony, you're not going to get that. It's not like it's salty. As I said, it's more of like the aftertaste, and I think that it's the finish. Like, I just It takes about 5 to 10 seconds, and you kind of smell it. Interesting. So what do you guys think? Bacon beer. Have you guys ever had Revolver? Don't go bacon my heart. Bacon beer. No. It's not too hoppy. Not bitter. I don't know. I definitely could drink it. See, there's something that we can talk about, even if you disagree with me on CRS Firearms. Beer. What kind of beer do you guys like? So, if you made it to the end of this video, in my little garage ramblings here, use beer in the comment section. No, I tell you what. No, not beer. Not beer. Bacon. Bacon's better. Bacon. Yeah, use bacon in the comment section. I know you made it all the way to the end. So anyways, yeah, that's all I got to say about tonight. My thoughts on things. And it's just I guess, me getting older, trying to be wiser, and not trying to be as emotional about things and see the world in such black and white terms. And I don't know, just try to see things from other people's perspectives. So anyway, let me know what you think. Don't forget bacon. And as always, thanks for watching.